Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video day. And today, the Boston Celtics have traded for RJ Lewis from the Utah Jazz, but might be more known from St. John's, as that is the team he last played for. He was with St. John's last year, had a big year with St. John's, was one of their best players. He averaged 18.2 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, and had a solid shooting season as well, shooting 44% from the floor. Now he's getting traded to Boston. When undrafted, signed as an undrafted free agent in Utah. I feel like if he would have played better in their final game when they played Arkansas, if he would have played better and not got benched, maybe they win the game, they move on, which would have been to the Elite Eight, if I am correct. I want to say it was the Sweet 16 Arkansas and St. John's met up, if I'm correct. I feel like if he would have played better in that game, I think RJ Lewis could have been a second-round pick, potentially. But he played very poor in that Arkansas game, got benched, and I think that took his value down a lot. And so, and then he went undrafted, signed with Utah. Now he's getting traded to Boston. This is a surprising trade. George Niang and 2 second-round picks head to Utah. George Niang, who averaged 12 points per game for the Hawks last year and 9 for the Cavs, and is a terrific three-point shooter of almost 41% last year and almost 40% in his career, heads to Utah, where he did spend a couple seasons. George Niang returns to Utah, which is very interesting. That is, I believe that's where he started his career. I think I'm correct, or maybe it was the Pacers. But I might be right. No, it's the Pacers. He spent his first year at the Pacers, but really wasn't that good. But then went and spent 4 seasons with the Jazz, where he started to play a little bit more, and then had a couple seasons in Philly, and then spent in Cleveland and Atlanta. But 2 second-round picks and George Niang head to Utah. You might be thinking, why is Boston making this deal? Why are they that high on RJ Lewis? That they're trading for, trading 2 second-round picks and George Niang, a guy who averaged 12 points per game with Atlanta last year, almost 40% three-point shooter in his career. Basically, you can just say 40%. It's 39.9, and he's 41% last season. Why would they do this? Why would Boston do this? I think the main reason they did this was to clear the room to sign Chris Boucher. Boston, 5 minutes after this trade, signed Chris Boucher to a 1-year, $3.3 million deal. Chris Boucher actually leads Toronto all time in points, rebounds, blocks, and minutes off the bench in their team history. He's been one of their best bench players ever, and so he's a great guy to have off the bench. I think most likely with Boston's situation next season, he'll be a starter. But I think I like Chris Boucher better than George Niang. I really like George Niang. I think he's one of my favorite shooters that you can find. But I think he's a very poor defender, and that is something Chris Boucher is 100% not. Like I just said, he leads the Raptors in their franchise in blocks off the bench. So he's a good defender. He's a better rebounder, a similar scorer, just scores in different ways. And he's a better rebounder. He's a better defender. I think you would say George and Chris Boucher's scoring is around the same. Chris just scores in different ways. And it's not like he's a terrible shooter. He can knock down the 3 ball as well, just not as good as Niang. I think Boucher is the better player, and I 100% know, this is a fact, that Boucher is the cheaper player as well, as he's making $3.3 million in this contract. George Niang was making like $8 million next season. It's not even half the money. So I really like this deal for Boston. I think that sucks to see George Niang go. We know they're really tight in the books. That's why they had to trade away Porzingis and Holiday and move all these guys this year. And so I think that, them doing this, they had to move somebody to make another spend another $3.5 million, and you move 2 second-round picks and Niang, get a solid player, two-way contract player who could get an opportunity with Boston next year if they are not that good of a team, and you're able to sign Boucher after the trade. Let me know your thoughts on the trade in the comment section, and peace out.